Hello, hello, hello. How goes it? Welcome to Kemetic Centered Living. So we'll be getting going here in just a little bit. So glad to have you guys here tonight. Everybody is here and present who is supposed to be present. So thank y'all for coming. So see Maggie's in the house. So hello there, Maggie. How's it going? How's it going? How's it going? Been a real interesting week, uh, especially in the world. Always interesting. Some things happening and stuff. So very interesting. Very interesting. Joy Todd, how's it going? Good to see you. Good to see you, Joy. That's Joy's family. African Mind Rewire family. What's going on, Ivory? Good to see you. Good to see you. So glad to have you guys here. Most definitely. All right, Wendy Watson, welcome. Welcome. Glad to have you here. So we'll be getting going here in a little bit. So we got it all happening. Michael Peaks, what's going on, brother? And then we got Cynthia DW. Oh, that's Cynthia. Hey, girl, you changed your name or something. You did something different. So how's it going, Cynthia? So good to see you. Good to see you. But definitely, also, I wanted to just quickly recognize some people that gave on Cash App last week, too. So Cynthia was definitely one of those people. So thank you, Cynthia. D. Brooks, Cynthia gave $20. D. Brooks gave $7.77. And Bernadette Coleman gave $20. Maggie DeShazer gave 5. And Lisa Yagofi gave 10. So thank you guys all last week. Definitely appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. All right, all right. I see Melvin Reed. D. Brooks is in the house. What's up, D? Iconic Man is in the house. What's happening? What's happening? Glad to have you guys here. So, yeah. But I am Reginald Martin, aka Ku Akaru, and I am your host here at Kemetic Centered Living. I'm the founder of Kemetic Centered Living, also the creator of the class African Mind Rewire, where I help former Christians and Christians that are transitioning from Christianity to remove the old negative Christian programming so that they can live life boldly, unapologetically, and on their terms without any guilt or shame. And that's a lot of times it's really tough for us that have been through Christianity, that when we enjoy life, there is some kind of guilt attached to it. And you really have to work through a lot of that programming just to enjoy the fruits of your labor a lot of times. So that's something that definitely you need to look at. But I really like just the class itself and what it does for people, what it did for me. And I know it's just, I find that a lot of times it's hard to put it into context what the Kemetic spiritual system does for people, and it really allows a person to really to live boldly and confidently, and to develop a level of confidence to where they can be bold, because you otherwise you spend your life doubting yourself, every day, just you might want to accomplish something, do something extra, do something more, but you end up doubting yourself. And a lot of times it's due to negative programming. That isn't always Christianity. It isn't always due to Christianity, but Christianity definitely, the way we were taught it, definitely exacerbates the problem. So that's something that we have to be aware of. And when we are living our lives doubting ourselves, man, we end up living in a world where we're in this box or in this cage that we can't even get out of. And with the Kemetic spiritual system, what it does is it literally it allows you to build a level of confidence from the essence of your being, really, and your essence of your being and how you're connected. And when you practice these ideas, you are going to be confident, you are going to be bold, and you're going to be a creator of your life and creating it on your terms. So that's really, really important, you know. So most definitely, most definitely. All right, all right. I see that. Let's see. A graphic designs is in the house. Good to see you. The man is in the house. What's up, Bernadette Coleman? What's happening? World traveler Bernadette Coleman. Good to see you. Nicholas Hicks, Rod the Creator. What's up, Rod? Good to see you. Good to see you. Ray Blunt, what's happening? How are you doing? Good to have you here. Good to have you here. So D Turner is in the house. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Eugene Dorsey, good to have you guys here. Good to have you guys here. Definitely. Blue Sky. All right. What's happening? What's happening? So yeah, so let's get going tonight. You guys got questions? Let's answer some questions. I know I'll start off with with a deal today that happened. You know, it's interesting, you know, on just the things that happen with people that come to my channel, you know, and a lot of times I get people that are Christian that come to my channel. And I had one guy today was like, you know, man, why are you always persecuting Christianity? You know, it seems like you guys, I guess he's talking about guys that call themselves Kemetic, I guess. I don't know. He just said you guys are always, excuse me, are always persecuting Christians. And I always find it interesting that Christians will take anybody that doesn't agree with them or that points out something about Christianity that is not favorable. They automatically assume that you're persecuting Christianity. And then he brought the other thing up was like, you know, why don't you talk about other religions and stuff like that? You know, and I'm like, guys, if you come to my, first of all, my first question to him was, why the hell are you even here? Why are you even on my channel? You know, it's not a Christian channel. I all up over my channel, you know that it's not something Christian. Why are you here in the first place? You know, and the real reason that they're there is because they're searching for something. But for whatever reason, something, some level of guilt hits them or whatever, and they feel like they got to go on the attack, you know. But at any rate, just because I point out something that is absolutely positively factual from my experience and the experience of others that is negative about Christianity does not mean that I am persecuting Christians. It is giving people a perspective to understand why the hell they might be feeling these negative feelings that they do and might never have even thought about it and considered why and where they came from, you know? And I find a lot of people find that helpful. So in my way, I'm helping a lot of people to really tear down and break down this mental barrier that Christianity has put up for us, you know, in a lot of different ways. So if I'm saying something that is not true, if I'm just going on the attack and you know, I don't know, putting down Christians or whatever, that I can understand the idea of persecution. But because, just simply because I'm pointing out something that is a negative aspect of Christianity does not count as persecution. Sorry, no. So you can go and, you know, drop that somewhere in a lake, you know, and keep it rolling. But my first question is, why the hell are you even here in the first place? It's not a Christian channel. You know, you weren't coming here looking for something Christian. I know you couldn't have been if you're on my channel, you know. So you need to question yourself. And you need to ask yourself, if you got questions and you're here, why aren't you here to at least learn something instead of going on the attack to defend the stupidity and really the indoctrination that Christianity does to people? So stop it. Stop all of that. So anyway, but all right. So we all good. But that was interesting, you know. So people are interested in that way. Ruben, what's going on, brother? Good to have you. Renee, what's happening? Good to have you. Good to have you. So it's good to have you here. And I see Brenda already gave $20 for this evening. Thank you, Brenda. Definitely appreciate that on Cash App. Definitely appreciate that. Uh, yeah. So if y'all got questions, let's do it. Let's do it. Anybody's got any questions? So we'll do that. We'll do that. Let's see here. All right. All right. All right. Let's see. Egyptian teaching something. All right, I definitely appreciate that, Egyptian Desire. So Egyptian Desire says, I was raised Muslim, but I always found lies within the teaching since awakening to my higher self. I came to your channel in 2020 and I was blown away with the facts you've shown. Amazing. Thank you very much. I definitely appreciate that. And I really pride myself on giving facts, you know. I give my insights because I've lived, you know, I'm almost 60 years old. I'll be 60 years old this year. And I've lived through some stuff. You know, I have some life experience, and I think that qualifies me because I've come through it and overcome a lot of it. It qualifies me to help other people through that too. You know, so but I definitely when I'm presenting information and knowledge here, I want to present stuff that's factual. There are spiritual aspects of me that I cannot verify factually necessarily, but I do try to give a scientific basis for that knowledge or just plain common sense, you know? So yeah, so definitely. Let's see here. So let's see. uh, Let's see. And Joey Todd says, I related to God as my father because I grew up without my biological father. And I was another one too. How should I relate to God now that I'm no longer Christian? And Joy, that's an excellent question. And this is what I'll say to that is understand that the way that we were taught about God as a male figure from the African spiritual perspective, God was not a male. God is not a human. Okay. And the Greeks, the Romans, and other people that came later with those teachings, they took knowledge that they didn't understand and they humanized this knowledge. But we're talking about stuff from a science. So understand that when you relate to the universe, when you relate to you connect with universal laws, you know, and you connect with it from a science perspective. So it's not that you have to worship somebody outside yourself, okay? That's the thing. Another thing that Christianity did is that it took you from outside yourself, or I'm sorry, it placed God outside of you as something that you needed to worship, okay? And that's not what it's about, okay? So the difference between Christianity and Kemetic science in relation to God is that Christianity teaches you that you have to develop a relationship to God. Okay, you have to develop a relationship to something outside yourself. You have to placate this angry, jealous individual or this angry, jealous God. Okay, and in hopes that you'll gain favor with that God. All right. Within Kemetic spirituality, it's about recognizing and developing the God self within you, your higher self, whatever you want to call that. But it is about recognizing your own divinity and your own connection to nature and all of creation. All right. And you do that through your life experience. Christianity teaches you to avoid life experiences because being in the flesh is something negative. You're born a sinner. Okay. It automatically puts you at odds with being human and being spiritual. African spirituality and Kemetic spirituality is not that way. Okay. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. You are God in another form. So you don't have to worship something outside yourself. You connect to you connect to your inner being. That's what you do. And you recognize and develop your own divinity through your life experience. And it's not something that you have to try to avoid. It's not something that happens if you do something wrong, you go to hell and stuff like that. All of those types of punishing negative aspects of Christianity are not a part of Kemetic spirituality. Okay, not at all. All right. Thank you very much for that question. Great question. All right. So King Hurrah gave $20. Thank you very much. Says, do you believe the universe sends you messages through the angel numbers? Yes. The universe speaks to us in many different ways. So my numbers, when I see 444, 333, 1111, 111, I see those numbers at certain times. That for me, I look at that as communication. Okay, and the deal is that with this type of information, it is definitely specific to you. Okay, it is definitely specific to you and your experience. So those numbers, they might can mean one thing to me. But now they have a foundation in numerology. I have to say that, but they can take on different meanings depending on you and your experience and situation. Okay, so definitely. Renee Johnson gave 19.99. Thank you, Renee Johnson. Definitely appreciate you. And Michael Peaks, brother, I appreciate you. Gave 19.99. Appreciate it. And Michael says, can you elaborate on multidimensional? Okay, great question, Michael. So multidimensional uh, is basically meaning that there is more than one dimension that we exist in, okay, or that anything exists in. So a dimension, we have been taught to think of dimensions as places, but from ancient Kemetic spirituality, and even if you understand the Bible esoterically, you'll see the same knowledge. But dimensions are actually states of mind and states of being. Your consciousness can exist and does exist in multi dimensions. Okay, and I thought the if you haven't seen the movie Doctor Strange in the Multiverse, that movie drops some really cool nuggets about multidimensional about multi dimensions. But basically, um, we so when we and I'll give just an example of this idea of how this relates to us is that anytime we are developing and changing, and anytime that we are wanting to do something different, to become something more, all right, understand that everything that is possible exists right now. Okay, let me say that again. Everything that is possible about you as an individual exists right now. But what you are experiencing is based on the level of being and vibration that you are and that you exist on right now. But let's just say that you wanted to be a millionaire. Okay, that millionaire person that you are already exists in another dimension. But in order to become that millionaire, you have to gain the knowledge, the experience, and the level of vibration for your consciousness to merge with that $1 million individual and become that person. Okay. So those dimensions, that person exists right now, but you have to become that person. Anything that you want to become, any person or any level of being that you want to ascend to, and I'll just say ascend, or hell, you might descend, and I don't mean descend in hell. I mean that you might, go backwards in your thinking or whatever. I guess that can happen too, you know. But all those possibilities exist, and they exist and there is no such thing as we exist and we think of time as linear. They what they call the arrow of time. That time only goes forward. but that's just not the case. Your 5-year-old self exists right now and is experiencing things right now in another dimension, but you're not at that level anymore. So you don't experience a 5-year-old self. Now you can remember, okay? You can go into your imagination and connect back to that 5-year-old self, okay? And experience that your 5-year-old self might have had. You're literally tapping into when you do that and you remember, okay? And really and truly, you're experiencing that the paradox of that you're experiencing that in the past, that memory is actually right now in the present. You're experiencing it in the present and you're bringing it to your present. So that right there says time does not exist. Okay. So we can move into and through other dimensions at will. All right. So I hope that if that Michael, if that didn't help you, let me know, and I can elaborate on that a little more. Okay. So good question, brother. So let's see here. Let's see, graphic design. Let's see. Let's see. Shauna A says she's been seeing angel numbers. Yeah, I see those all the time. I mean, that's like a daily occurrence for me. And I find that I see them a lot when I am like I set a goal for something and I'm trying to do something and accomplish something. I start seeing those numbers a lot more because it's like they're confirmation for me that I'm going in the right direction on certain things. Okay. So that's how I do those. Let's see. Let's see, D. Turner, what are you saying here? So D says, how do you relate to Christians now? My perspective has changed so much. My conversation is completely different that I find myself in self-isolation. And D and I completely understand that. And so I cannot have like deep conversations or relationships with many Christians because it's like we exist in two different worlds. A lot of times what I found is that Christians can be extremely negative in their thinking, and their beliefs. They're always expounding on fear, a lot of times in many ways. I can't relate to that, because that's not how I choose to live my life. And I'll repeat, that's how I choose. I don't choose to live my life focused on fear, the anxiety, the negative. I just don't choose that way to live. So I don't hang around people that do. Okay. So yeah, if you, that's one of the hardest things, D, is that once you do move away from Christianity, you lose family, you lose a support system, you lose just a whole way of thinking. There's a lot of things that is not the same anymore. But the thing is you're going to gain so much more in just the quality of life that you have. I mean, you literally things are just a lot more positive. You see a lot more possibilities in your life, So definitely. So yes, it can seem, or you can isolate yourself, but that's part of what we're doing here is with African Mind Rewiring Kemetic Center Living. I'm wanting to create, and I am creating a community where we can congregate with each other. Like minds can congregate, and we can make friends. Because you guys are in different cities all over the place too. So different countries. Connect with each other, man. Connect with each other, definitely, because you don't have to be isolated. All right. Great question, D. Great question. Uh, let's see. I'm actually, D says he notices all kinds of signs and numbers. Yep. Let's see. And who's that? Egyptian Desire says, D, I lost my best friend January 20, and I've been in isolation ever since. Love my alone time, but we do need to get out at times. Hermite mode, hound freedom, go be happy and follow you. So yeah. And I still like one of the things I do is I like to go dancing. I do swing out dancing here in Dallas, and most of the people in that community are Christian, but I go dance, and I mean we'll have like small talk, chit chat, you know, and I enjoy dancing, and but I just find other things to do, you know. But I've always been a kind of a loner type anyway. So a lot of us that are deep thinkers, we are usually introverts. Now, introvert does not mean shy. It does not mean antisocial, anything. It just means that we recharge going within ourselves. We need that alone time and that downtime. Okay. So I am definitely an introvert, but I am not shy. I am not antisocial. I just pick and choose when I do want to be social. That's it. But if I'm at a party, I can socialize and be fine. You know. But I choose the people that I hang around with. You know. So that's it. Plain and simple. So yeah. Let's see. Judy Smith Randall, what's happening? Good to see you. All right, all right. Let's see. Uh, let's see. Gnostic, who's that? Gnostic Boo the King, the Thin King says, "What do you say to a Christian who believes they've seen a miracle?" I don't say anything to them. I mean, if they believe that they've seen a miracle, I, I put it this way: are you going to convince them that they didn't when they really truly believe that they did? I mean, you can argue with them if you want to, but it just ends up frustrating you and them. So I leave them alone. You seen a miracle? Hey, great, awesome. I'm glad for you, and I keep it moving. So I have quit trying to argue and convince people who have a certain way of thinking and do not want to know anything different. I just don't do that. It's a waste of time. That's why I don't argue and debate with people about this stuff. It's a waste of time. So if they believe they saw it, pat them on the back and keep going. Because you're not going to change them. You're not going to change them. Let's see here. Yeah, so we got so yeah, I see a lot of you guys up here saying, "Hey, I'm here in this city, I'm here in this town." Yeah. Yeah, I mean, guys, there's enough people now that are waking up to this that guys, y'all can congregate, man. Y'all can, find each other in different places. I mean, there's people all over the world that's connected to Kemetic Center Living, for real. Good people. Good people. So yeah. So absolutely, absolutely. I see you, Kia Ham. What's happening? All right, all right, all right. Let's see. How is Islam connected to Abraham? Well, all three of the religions, all three Abrahamic religions. So, and we call them Abrahamic religions because they're all connected to Abraham. But all three, the Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, they all share the Old Testament together. So they all share some level of connection to those books of the Bible as well. So Otis Baskerville gave 19.99. Thank you, Otis. Definitely appreciate you. Definitely appreciate you. And I see a couple of people here is on Cash App too. So got Cynthia Williams also gave $15 again. Thank you. And Bernadette Coleman says she gave $5. She's priming that pump. And let's see. Now I had already mentioned Brenda. So so thank you guys very much. Definitely appreciate you guys. Most definitely. Most definitely. All right, all right. Let's see. Any other questions here? Man, I'm excited. I'm a Dallas Mavericks fan, so they're going to be playing tonight. So I might have my attention kind of elsewhere, although they're not playing for a little while. But boy, they've been doing good. Been a long time. Been waiting on this. But anyway, yeah. See, I get into a lot of stuff. Man, I bet they're having a watch party down at the AAC. Okay, guys, I got to see y'all. I'm going to the watch party. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'd rather be here with y'all. I'd rather be here with y'all. So yeah. All right, Rob the Creator. Thank you for putting that up, Rob. Definitely appreciate that. So that's my Cash App. So any of you guys want to do Cash App? Let's see. And Blue Sky says I didn't grow up Christian in a Christian home, so it was normal for me to tell people that I wasn't Christian, and the looks that I got when I said that. Oh, Yeah, I can bet Blue Sky. I can bet, especially and see, like I've lived here in Texas for all my life. This is the Dallas is like the Bible Belt. So one of the first things people ask you is like, "Oh, what's your church home, honey? Where you go to church?" I say, "I don't." What? But that's okay. Jesus still loves you anyway, honey. Like, okay, thank you. And I keep it moving. For real, for real, for real. All right. Herbalist King gave $20. Thank you very much. Herbalist KLG. Herbalist KLG. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Robert Bush, what's up? Oh, Robert Bush. Don't tell me you cheering for. Oh, yeah, that's right. You was like San Francisco and Cal. See, I'm gonna have to kick Robert Bush out of here. Robert Bush said Golden State. Get out of here with that. They're gonna get beat tonight. Woo! Yeah, they're gonna get beat tonight, brother. Oh man. Let's see. Do you believe in a curvaceous planet with ice walls? Have no idea what you're talking about. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. IMAX 3D. Do I like football? Oh yeah, man. Dallas Cowboys, best team in the world. Okay, I mean they're my team, but you know we trying. I'm in that wait till next year mode. It's been like that for 25 years, but I keep waiting. Maybe Jesus can come back and help them. I don't know. maybe I can pray to Jesus. Maybe Jesus will come, play on the team or something, and throw a few blocks. Anybody help them boys? Help my boys. Good grief. But anyway, I keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Oh man. Let's see. Eugene Dorsey says, what is your thoughts on divine feminine and those who have violated it? That is those who give relationship advice, laying waste on Black women at the same time. Yeah, that's Eugene. You asked me to speak on other people, and I don't do that, man. I stay in my lane. But the divine feminine is not just about being female either. So the way the ancients looked at it, divine feminine is something that is an aspect of men and women. So, and the divine feminine is our inner world, really. Okay, our intuition, our imagination, our stuff like that. So that's divine feminine. But as far as putting down Black women, I don't agree with that in any way, shape, or form. I don't agree with putting down any human being in any way, shape, or form. So when people, I know that in the Kemetic space, there are a lot of men that can be just as misogynistic as when they were Christian. Now that they're Kemetic, all they do is just put a new wrapper on the same misogynistic bullshit. That's what they end up doing. And the church, the Christian church, well, all three Abrahamic religions have not treated women very well. Okay, and the way that they've done it is complete bullshit. And they've used the Bible to justify the crap. And that kind of stuff I don't believe. I don't believe with. I don't hold with. So women are the other half of the whole. They're not subservient. They're not a lower form. None of that. The women are the other half of the whole, and that's the way I look at that. So, but men that think in these terms, usually when they're misogynistic like that, they usually already have a low self-esteem anyway. And they use the Bible and these ideas to basically to control is what they do, to control women. Oh, baby, you're supposed to be subservient to me. No, they're not. No, another human being is not supposed to be subservient to another human being. That's bullshit. So anyway, let's see. Ruben gave $20. Thank you very much, Ruben. Appreciate you, brother. Okay, appreciate you. Appreciate it. Let's see. Can you elaborate on shadow work? So all shadow work is just basically meaning that it's the work that you might not be aware of. It's a shadow. It's in the dark. So it's just that's just a metaphor for saying that there is work that might be impacting you in a negative way, or some behavior or beliefs that might be impacting you in a negative way, and it has not come to light for you yet in order to heal it or to start to work on it. So it's in the shadows or in the dark. Okay. So might be subconscious. So shadow work is just a euphemism or a metaphor for something that you're not aware of and that is not in the light. Okay. All right. Hope that helps, Ruben. If you need me to expound on it a little bit more, let me know. Let me know. Let's see. Oh, for sure. So presumptuous. Well, yeah, right, Brenda. What's your church name? The Vegas odds are not lit in your favor. Sorry, Mavericks. Hey, Brenda, hold on here. Wait a minute. See, she started out with a good question and then come with some of that BS. Because see, the odds were not in our favor against Phoenix either, but we whooped that ice. Yeah, sure did. So Golden State gonna get the same treatment. They're gonna get the same treatment. They can't match it. Golden State don't even have the size like Phoenix has. So Dallas plays small ball. It's gonna be on tonight. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So absolutely, positively, it's gonna be on. So D Brooks gave $11 for priming the pump. Thank you, D Brooks. And the great sent $10. The iconic man. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Appreciate both of y'all. All right, all right. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Your take on white people that talk about the same thing as black people in the conscious community, except that black people are gods and that every person is a divine soul. I don't know. I don't know about what white people that talk about those ideas, because I don't follow a lot of people because a lot of times it just they get on my nerves because the ideas that they talk about are usually sometimes very limiting. But everybody is a divine soul. So in that sense. So a lot of times we get so caught up in our racism and looking at our world through racism that we want to limit other people, or we want to raise one group and put another group down, and that's not how it works, because we're all connected, one way or another. We're all connected. So so that's how I see that. Let's see. Let's see how you read, bro. Miriam Davis says, have you read Billy Carson's compendium on the Emerald Tablets? If so, what are your thoughts? No, I have not read his compendium. I've looked at the Emerald Tablets, and honestly, I question their validity because of the translations that I saw. They have a definite European bent to them. Okay, and when I say European, I mean just how Europeans have thought about spiritual things in a way that a lot of times is limiting and can be destructive. So, so some of the things that lends me to believe that somebody took liberty with something, I just question the validity of them right now. I could find out more information on them later and change my mind, but right now I don't put a lot of stock in the Emerald Tablets. Okay, I just don't. Blue Sky gave $20. Thank you. Thank you very much, Blue Sky. Definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. Let's see. Let's see. And Lycia John Tall says, I want to know, how did you learn all of this and what made you want to learn the truth? Like, see, that's an excellent question, but this is stuff that I've been studying for going on now almost, let's see, probably over, it's been over 15 years. So I actually studied metaphysics first. And one of the reasons I studied metaphysics is because of coming out of my Christian upbringing. One of my basic prayers, or not one of my basic prayers, but one of my thoughts was, is why is it that certain people can get prayers answered and other people can't? Okay. That question alone started me to search for answers. And I noticed that a lot of the religions, they all had some common teachings. So just common sense to me said that since they all had common teachings, then they all probably came from a common source. You know, it is possible for these teachers to come up, people to come up with independent ideas or ideas independently of each other, the same ideas. I believe that is possible. But because I know of where, like the Bible, Islam, Judaism, Christianity, they were all kind of hovering around in the same area. It made me believe that they all had a common source. So, but that question of how to get prayers answers, because basically I was getting my butt whooped by life, and I was praying, but prayer wasn't working the way I was taught. So but I knew that it worked for some people. I saw them get their prayers answered, you know. So I was wondering what was wrong with me. You know, as a Scorpio, one of the biggest things for me was I wanted to be in control of everything that was happening around me. I wanted to be able, if I wanted to do something, I wanted to be able to snap my fingers and get it done. So that started me to searching, and just one thing led to another, and I just followed my interest. I followed my joy, and I just learned, and just the way my brain works. I'm always learning. I love learning, and just over the years, I just come across a lot of information, read a lot of books, watched a lot of videos, listened to audios. There was a time I was laid off for a year and a half, and I literally got to study for 16 to 18 hours a day. And that's all I could do. I was laid off, but it just so happened that for the first time in my life, I was able to collect unemployment. They paid I was able to live off unemployment for that time, and I studied for 16 to 18 hours a day. And and I haven't stopped studying. So I still learn, you know, but I learn it in a way that I like to teach it as well. So I try to learn it in a way that I can teach others. Okay. So excellent question. Excellent question. Uh, let's see. Thank you. Sure thing, Miriam, on the what is the Emerald Tablet stuff. So she was saying thank you for the response and had similar thought about his sources. Yeah. So yeah, but you know, it's just stuff like that. I'm a natural skeptic anyway, Miriam. I don't just always accept stuff at face value. If somebody tells me, now if it just makes sense, then yeah, I can accept it and keep moving. But I still leave the right and reserve the right to question stuff. You know, to question sources, question what it came from, and if I find out new information, I change my mind. And that's why I find a lot of people, they can get so rigid that they can't even change their mind when they find new information. That to me is like stupidity, you know? So if you find new information, hell, change your mind about it. You know, that's what an intelligent individual does. You know, that's what learning does. When you acquire new information, you can just change your mind, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, not at all. Not at all. All right, Nathaniel Turner gave $7. Thank you very much. Bringing my brick to this session. Thank you for everything. Let's see. Now you got to explain it. What you mean bringing your brick there, Nathaniel? What's bringing your brick? Timothy Lee says Scorpio power. Absolutely, positively, Scorpio power. For real, for real. Let's see. When I was 5, you would have. Let's see. IMAX 3D says, I know you all heard faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. When I was 5, you would have had me with that. But now, no, just no. No, actually, 3D, IMAX 3D, faith is real. okay? But not the way that we were taught it as Christians, okay? Faith is a very powerful manifesting tool, okay? So, but the way we were taught as Christians, we were taught to have faith in something that somebody has told us. In other words, don't question it, just believe it on faith. You don't have to question it, just accept it. That's not faith, that's mind control. But in the African form of faith is an idea that you might not have manifested it yet, but you can believe and know that it will occur. That's the science idea behind faith. Okay. And when you understand these principles, these ancient African and Kemetic principles, you understand faith as a tool and not as a mind control, not to be used for mind control. Okay. So definitely. All right. All right. Okay. So let's see. Um, let's see. And Lycia Jontel says it's hard when your own people don't want to hear the truth, like Jesus isn't real. Just said I've been lied to my whole life. No, and Lycia, I can agree with you, and I understand where you're coming from with that. And this is what you have to understand is from a Christian perspective. They believe that their experience of Jesus is real, okay? And they believe that it's real because Jesus existed. So when you tell them that Jesus was not a historical person, what that says to them is, and what they're thinking, they're not saying this, they don't even verbalize this because they don't recognize what's happening. But when you say Jesus is not a historical person, to them, they're saying that you are basically nullifying their inner experience, their personal experience that they have labeled as Jesus or something that came from Jesus. So that's what we have to understand. They will tell you, and you'll hear Christians say, no, my Jesus is real. Jesus is real, you know? But what they're actually saying is, I had a very real experience. It's a spiritual experience that is common to all of us. Okay? But from the Christian perspective, the only reason they could have that experience is because Jesus had to have existed historically. Okay? Jesus had to have been a real person, or that experience could not happen. But there are plenty of people that have never believed in Jesus that still have these same spiritual experiences. But as Christians, we were taught in a certain framework that in order to have this experience, or the only reason you have this experience, or the only way you can have this experience is that you believe in Jesus, okay, as a historical person. So when you tell them the truth, it's another way to them as almost saying, you crazy, you couldn't have experienced that. Now that's subconsciously, that's what's running around in their mind. You're not saying that. You're saying that the person that we know, the biblical person that we know, was not ever historical. But in their mind, when you say the person is not historical, you're nullifying their inner experience. And we have to understand that. We have to be a little bit more savvy when we're talking and understand things from their perspective. Okay? So, and a lot of times when you have people that, again, they believe a certain thing in a certain framework, there's no way that you can express these ideas to them in a way that they understand. Like I had the guy that came to my channel this morning, and I made a post about, heaven is not a place that you go to when you die, And his first question out the box was, and he wanted to argue, well, where does your soul go when you die then? And from his perspective, your soul has to go somewhere when you die. I can't even explain to him the idea that heaven and hell don't exist. in his frame of mind, in his frame of reference, he cannot even consider any other idea. So I cannot talk to him and explain to him these ideas. His mind is closed to them. So that's why I don't argue with them, because it's almost like we're speaking two different languages. Well, it ain't almost it. We're speaking two different languages. We have two different perspectives. Okay. So and we just got to understand that you can't. People want to come to me and they want to ask me to explain these certain ideas, and I'm like, I can't even, because even the way that they ask the question, I know that they're Christian, or they are asking it from their Christian belief system. Okay, and when they're doing that, a lot of times I can't help them because they're not even open to something that doesn't fit into their belief system, if that makes sense. Okay. So yeah, but yeah, when the average Christian, and guys, you got to understand this, is when you say that Jesus is not historical, they think that you are dismissing their experience. They think that you're dismissing their spiritual experience, and that's what they're fighting you about. Because in other words, if you're dismissing what I experienced, you must be thinking I'm crazy. And black people, we don't even want to deal with that. No way. It's gaslighting to them. You're totally dismissing their experience and trying to give them something else. To them, you're gaslighting them. And that's not what you're trying to do. But you got to understand where they're coming from with that. Let's see. And Nashar said, can you prove? Yes. Said, can you prove that Jesus did not exist, or is that your belief? And see, that's coming from a Christian perspective right there. Is that my belief? No, I know Jesus didn't exist. So yes, I can prove it. And I put videos up to show you and teach you those things if you're interested in that. So Jesus never existed. And I can say that with 100% certainty because of the studies that I have, the things that I have studied, and the things that I know. Jesus as a person never existed. Okay. So plain and simple. So yeah, I can prove it, but I don't care to. So I talk to the people who are interested in the knowledge that I have, and I talk to the people who are interested in elevating their knowledge beyond the Christian indoctrination. I don't want to argue with people. I don't care if you want to believe in a Jesus and a Savior, more power to you. But I'm not going to argue with you about it. Okay. So Jesus ain't coming back. He ain't coming back. Let's see. Timothy Lee says, question, is there anything you can salvage from Christianity? Yeah, there is. There's a lot, Timothy, and my teachings do that. I mean, I go into the Bible and show you the esoteric meanings rather than the exoteric stuff that Christianity has taught us. So yeah, you don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. So there is a framework that is there that can actually be used when you understand the esoteric teachings. There is a framework that is there that can be very helpful. Okay. So just even the idea of Jesus itself, if you understand it esoterically, you understand that the ancients were actually trying to teach something that was an aspect of all of us. Okay. And when you recognize that esoterically, you can see the confirmation of it in the Bible and what they were teaching and what they were trying to say. For us today, these ideas that they were expressing esoterically would be very simplistic. For our level of the way that we have learned psychological ideas and stuff, they would be very simplistic to us. But they were profound back then because they had never really put these into a context like they did. So yes, Christianity, absolutely, there is things that can be salvageable. You don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. You don't have to relearn. You don't have to be an adversary to Christianity. Okay. So that's one of the things that I definitely teach and talk about. Okay. So great question. Let's see. see. Let's see. Let's see. D. Brooks says affirmation is a form of prayer. And D. Brooks, that's an excellent question. My question is do you know do you understand the science of prayer? Not the I bow my head and blah blah blah. Okay. But in the short answer to your question, yes, affirmations can be a form of prayer, but the prayer from an African and Kemetic paradigm, not the ritualistic, just say the words prayer that we've been taught. So there's a deeper meaning, and I like to call it frequency tuning. Okay, because we think it's the words and the rituals. But the short answer to your question, yes, it is definitely a form of affirmation. Okay. So Timothy Lee says he gave $10. Says I agree. Thank you. All right, I appreciate you, Timothy. Appreciate you. And that's excuse me. That's the thing is so many people when they first come out of this knowledge or come into this knowledge, they want to be an adversary to Christianity, and I get it. I've been there, and I mean, there was man. I wanted to beat people over the head with an unk. You know, I never was a Bible thumper, but if there was something I wanted to do, I would have did that. But once I came out of Christianity, I wanted to beat people over the head with an unk. And well, no, I can't say that because I that knowledge came a lot later. But I was against Christianity. But when I started studying the Kemetic stuff back probably about 8 or 9 years ago, really getting into it, that's where I started to realize the connections. And if you really understand the Kemetic netters, then you can make connections to the Bible or to what this is how I know Jesus was not a real person, because the everything that the Kemetic netters were and how you understand the Kemetic netters, that's what Jesus is. Okay, there's a connection to them. All right. So most definitely, Cannabis Maximus, what's up? What's up? Gave 333. Appreciate you. I'm ready to receive universe. There you go. He's priming that pump. Priming that pump. There you go. There you go. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, brother. Let's see here. uh, yeah, I can agree with that. AM1, they're making a claim that Jesus is real. The burden of proof is on them. You know, so but again, it's to me we argue about a lot of that, and to me it's a waste of time. I mean, it really is because we're arguing about stuff that does not move us. It does not elevate our consciousness. It does not elevate us in any kind of way when we're arguing and debating with each other. All we're doing is just it's egotistical masturbation to me, you know, because really and truly, most times if you're arguing and debating with somebody, you're not going to change their mind because they're entrenched in their beliefs. So what's the point? It's just ego masturbation. That's all it is. Okay. So AM1 gave $2. Thank you very much. It's a great discussion, freeing some minds and spirits. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. All right. All right. And Rob the Creator is holding it down tonight. Holding it down tonight. All right. So let's see here. Yeah. So definitely appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys. Was there a Yeshua ben Pandera? I don't know. So that I haven't really gotten into studying that. So I've heard that name that might have been Jesus, but again, what I know, Jesus never existed. Yeshua and Jesus are they're derivatives of the same name. Okay, that you can trace them back to the ancient Egyptian name Yeusa. Okay, so all of that. So it's Jesus, but again, that's neither here nor there to me at this point in my life. Uh, let's go and let's elevate. Let's elevate to something more. Okay, that's where I want to go. Oh, let's see, let's see. All right, all right. And someone asked, is both God and the devil the same? Okay. And that's again, girl, I love these questions, Lycia, so that you're asking here. So these are some great questions. And this is going to be the last one because the game is about to come on. About to watch Golden State get the whoop down, the beat down. but I'll use the Bible to talk about this idea because a lot of times again the Bible could confirm things. Look up Isaiah 45 verse 7. So this was the ancient way that this idea was taught. It wasn't until Christianity that they needed an adversary for Jesus. Or no, they didn't need the adversary for Jesus. They ended up creating an adversary for Jesus. But if you look up Isaiah 45 verse 7, if somebody can copy and paste that up there, I want to put it up. Look up Isaiah 45 verse 7. But it says that I God created all things. I created good and evil. I created good and bad. All of that. So one God, one creator. And first of all, the devil is not a person or an entity. Okay, that's not how the ancients taught it. The devil is just a personification of an idea. Okay, but in the Old Testament, that Isaiah 45 verse 7 says that God created all things. Everything is God in another form. So even the idea of the devil, okay, is something that the God had to create. All right. And the way that we've been taught it is that the devil is this entity separate and really has to be more powerful than God because God can't get rid of it. Otherwise, why would God like send its son to die on the cross for our sins? Hell, just get rid of the things that's causing us to sin. Why kill your son? I think about it. Why send your son to die on the cross for the sins and the temptations from the devil that you have partaken in? Hell, just get rid of the devil and we ain't got to worry about it no more. From a Christian perspective, okay? So it's absolute stupidity. It just makes no sense. Let's see. There you go. There you go. Lycia put it up there. So this is Isaiah 45 verse 7. It says, I form the light and create darkness. All that is duality. Just saying that I form both sides. I make peace and create evil. That's just duality. I, the Lord, do all things. Okay? That's Isaiah 45 verse 7. Okay? And it's just talking about there's two sides to everything, but one creator created it all. Okay? There's oppositions, there's opposites. Okay? That's what it is. So thank you for finding that, Lycia. But Isaiah 45 verse 7 says God created it all. But in Christianity, we are taught that the devil is something obviously more powerful than God. So it doesn't make sense. But so yeah. So yep. All right, the low key goat gave $19.99. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It says please check out a King's Affirmation by Linko. Let's see. Give me this Roche. Thank you. I'll love it. Okay. All right. Thank you for the $19.99. Definitely appreciate it. I never heard of the King's King's Affirmations. I'm not familiar with that, but it's all good. It's all good. So anyway, guys. So I'm gonna have to roll up out of here because the game is about to start here in a few minutes. But I have enjoyed y'all tonight as usual, and all you guys that gave, thank you very much. Rather Creator, thank you for being here and moderating. I definitely appreciate you, sister, for being here. Thank you very much. And everybody that gave, thank you again. Y'all priming that pump, do it, keep it. It doesn't have to come to me. Prime the pump, give to others as well. It doesn't have to even be money. Okay, so prime that pump. Whatever it is that you desire, you got to give a little bit of it first to get more of it back. Give it gladly. That might be love. Prime the pump. Prime the pump. Give a little to get more back. That's what it's about. All right. That's how the universe works. All right, guys. All right. So y'all have an wonderful, wonderful evening. And I'm getting ready to go and watch these Mavericks beat down Golden State. So later, more power to you. Good night, guys.